Content is the most unfair sales advantage founders are completely sleeping on. Most people think content is about likes, going viral, or feeding the algorithm, but what I'm telling you right now, it's the most under-leveraged sales tool in the entire business that you have. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how to flip your content from a time suck to an engine that fills your pipeline and pre-sells your services without making a million more sales calls. This is in theory, it's the same strategy that turned cold outreach into warm inbound, that took founders from repeating themselves on every sales call to finally hearing, I already know you guys, I want to work with you. So let's get rid of the fluff and talk about the real reason that your content isn't converting and how to fix it fast. Let's start with the hard truth. Most founders are stuck in content purgatory, posting on LinkedIn, maybe uploading the casual YouTube video, but every time they hit publish, they're met with crickets. No engagement, no leads, just a sinking feeling thinking, is anyone even seeing this? And they're trapped in what I call the content illusion, thinking that posting more equals progress. But activity doesn't really equal effectiveness. But here's what you're really frustrated with. You know you're good at what you do. You know that what you offer can change somebody's business. But the online content that you're producing isn't reflecting your authority. It's like having a Ferrari engine under the hood, but driving it like a Prius. You're using content as a branding exercise and not a buyer journey. You treat content like a performance, hoping someone will notice, instead of building it into a funnel that turns cold strangers into pre-sold buyers. If you're watching this and thinking, yep, that's me, good, because this is the video where everything changes for you. I used to believe content was just about awareness. Just get your name out there, post consistently, and eventually leads will come. But that was really wrong, because I was stuck in the content friend zone for so long, posting, educating, even entertaining without getting paid. Until I realized something that most founders never will. Content isn't just a branding play, it's a sales hack in disguise. And when you understand that, your entire strategy changes and you stop creating content for attention and start creating it for conversion. And here's the shift. The purpose of content is to build trust at scale. Trust shortens the sales cycle. Trust removes objections before they're even voiced. And it creates that feeling of like, I already know you guys. So it makes selling effortless. If you ever had a call where a prospect says, hey, I've been watching your videos for months. I know I want to work with you. You know what I mean? Those aren't sales calls. Those are confirmations, and they close fast without friction because the heavy lifting was already done by your content. Now, let me give you a real world example. I had been stuck in sales hell. Long calls, endless follow-ups, skeptical prospects who just didn't get it. And the most annoying question, every time a prospect would come on a call, and the initial one at least, he would ask me, what do you guys do? What do we do? It wasn't until I wrapped up one of the worst sales weeks I ever had with being the most burnt out I ever was. I had an inbound lead in my inbox, who was organic, mind you, requesting a demo. That call was like 25 minutes in length, and it was the first call between our relationship. It had no objections, it had no price objections, and I closed a $5,000 deal paid in full on the call. I was completely blown away. So I asked the prospect, I was like, what is the deal with your fast decision? And you know what he told me? He goes, I've been watching your stuff for months, and you guys sound like the exact solution that I've been looking for. So I just wanted to hop on the call to see how we could work together. And that changed the game for me. My blogs, my YouTube videos, my newsletters, it did all the heavy lifting for me. Every video I put out was a pre-sales asset. With that call that I had with that prospect, my offer didn't change. My pricing didn't change. Nothing changed. But because my content started doing the heavy lifting before the guy even showed up, my prospect came in warm, qualified, and ready to buy. That's the magic most founders miss. They obsess over scripts and frameworks and closing techniques, though those are still very important. But in my opinion, the sale could already be won or lost before the call even happens. And your proof is in your own buying behavior. Think about the last time you invested in a high-ticket service. You didn't just stumble into a discovery call. You probably watched their content, read their posts, binged their YouTube channel. You built a social relationship with them first. That's how you create content that converts, not by shouting louder, not by hiring more SDRs, but by being everywhere where your ICP lives and showing up strategically. So let me break it down with a quick framework. There are 3 reasons content marketing makes sales way more effortless. First, content builds familiarity. People don't buy from strangers, they buy from people they recognize or they relate to or respect. And every piece of content is a micro touch point building that connection. And over time, this is what compounds into what you call authority. Second, content handles objections before they're even raised. You don't want to wait for a prospect to say something on the call. What if it doesn't work for me or it's too much money? You can create answers in your videos using case studies or insights or stories so they handle the objection before they even get on the call. Third, content attracts the right buyers and it filters out the wrong ones. If your content speaks directly to your ideal buyer's pain, frustration, and dream outcome, they'll lean in. If not, they'll bounce. Either way though, that's a win because your content saves your team from wasting time on the wrong leads that maybe would have came in. And let's zoom in even further now. There are different types of content for different stages of awareness. Most founders lump it all together, but that's a big mistake. A cold viewer doesn't need a sales pitch, they need a perspective shift. A warm lead doesn't need education, they need evidence that you know what you're talking about. When you align your content with your buyer's journey, everything starts to click. You stop creating noise and you start creating momentum. And that's the difference between a content creator and a content strategist. One posts and the other one persuades. Here's another truth most founders miss. Your content is your first impression before they even hit your website, before they read your case study, before they book a call. Your content is shaping the perception of your authority and your value as a company. So if your content is scattered or inconsistent or shallow, don't be surprised when your leads are too. Your content is a mirror. If your content looks generic, if it sounds like everyone else, you're going to sound like everyone else and you're going to blend in. But if it's consistent, it's strategic, and it's sharp, you become the obvious choice, not just another option. And that's what we build for ourselves and our clients in our GTM content engine. We know how to help B2B teams build content systems that work for them. Heck, I'm a founder too. When I created this service, it had to work for me before I even thought about selling it to you. I'm so busy. I was only able to record a few hours each month. That's why we were able to take 2 hours of recordings, translate it into 4 YouTube videos per month, and then 100 other micro assets that we redistribute based on that initial recording. There's no extra work required on my end or my clients. And you don't need to be a content machine. You just need to stop posting like a content creator and building like a business owner. That means scripting with strategy, not just stories, but structured frameworks that build belief and showcase why you guys are the best at what you do. It means stacking content topics that target each stage of the buyer journey from unaware to most aware. And it means editing for attention, not aesthetics. And most of all, it means treating your content like your best salesperson, one that works 24/7, never forgets to pitch, and it scales infinitely. And it never asks for commission or handholding or time off. It just brings in results. And that's why these things like marketing can become your most valuable sales asset. Okay, so let's tie this all together. The biggest mistake founders make is treating content like an afterthought, like it's some extra marketing bonus that they have to do when they have time. Content is not an extra, it's essential, because every founder says the same thing. If I could just get on more calls, I could close them. Great, but how are you getting those calls? Are you still relying on referrals, cold DMs, or luck? If you're doing that, you're building on sand. Content is a great way to leverage your outbound. When you stop treating content like a creative outlet and start treating it like a revenue asset, everything changes. You go from hoping someone DMs you to saying, hey, I watched your videos, maybe we book a call, how do we work together? If you're a founder who's frustrated with dead leads, cold DMs, and content that feels like it goes nowhere, do not give up. You don't need more tactics, you need better positioning. Your content shouldn't just be a megaphone, it should be a magnet. And if you're still trying to figure out how to make that shift from content that gets ignored to content that sells, you can book a call with myself or my team with the link below. I'll show you exactly where your gaps are in your marketing and what you should exactly change specifically for your business. No pressure. Plus, if you want those free weekly playbooks and weekly content releases on topics just like this, there's another link below for you to get on my list where I hit your inbox every week, giving you the direct link to each of those things. This isn't about going viral. It's about building the kind of trust that makes a sales call a formality. And once you experience that, I promise you, you'll never go back.